Live from the Channel 4 studios in Boston, WBZ News at 5 starts right now.
Tonight at 5.
It's beyond comprehension what the man did.
At least 7 people injured, 2 of them killed in a wild rampage.
To this truly hectic scene. It was truly something you wouldn't even script a movie about.
The heroes, an off-duty sheriff's deputy, and a beloved teacher who paid with his life.
I lost a good man. I did. He was a great man.
And tonight we have some breaking news in the deadly attacks in Taunton. The killer's family is now blaming a hospital for not giving Arthur DeRosa the help that they say he needed in the hours before the rampage. I'm David Wade.
I'm Lisa Hughes. The family just spoke outside their home, and we have live team coverage tonight from several scenes in Taunton. We begin with Louisa Mueller. Louisa? Now, Arthur DeRosa's night started at his child's soccer practice. Something happened at that field that set him off, and investigators say within minutes he was on a deadly crime spree that ended at the Silver City Galleria. Beth Germano joins us live with our continued coverage. As an urgent care physician, what do you do when somebody comes in with mental health issues?
So we are faced with this with some frequency. And
tonight, the voters of New Hampshire have picked their winners: Bernie Sanders for the Democrats and Donald Trump for the Republicans.
And the polls were packed right up until closing. These long lines, a result of huge voter turnout.
I'm Lisa Hughes. No candidate has ever won the party's nomination without coming in either first or second in New Hampshire. We want to get right to the numbers for you. Starting with the Republicans, Donald Trump with an easy win tonight, defeating the next closest Republican, Ohio Governor John Kasich, 34% to 16%. Bernie Sanders ran away with this, 21 points ahead of former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Our team coverage starts tonight with Kate Merrill, who is live at the Sanders headquarters. Kate, CBS News exit polls show he won with Democrats across the board.
There's an anguished cry for change in both parties, and that's what you're seeing expressed in the Trump and Sanders boomlets.
And with each of those candidates, the real question was, could they turn out the vote? Because, of course, neither one of them was really experienced with a broad ground game. Bernie Sanders has served in office for 30 years, but even he doesn't have the kind of experience for a national campaign. What do you make of what we saw in New Hampshire tonight, and does that translate beyond New England? Tonight, a family mourns the deaths of a mother and her baby boy killed in a crash in Oxford. This happened on a dangerous curve on Route 20. The school and bus company saying the little boy never should have been allowed off the bus. Julie Lonchek live in Worcester now with our story, new at 11. Julie? Also developing tonight, at least one person is dead after a Lehigh University bus collided with a car in eastern Pennsylvania. A person in the car was killed. The bus was carrying the school's rowing team, and all 20 students on board were taken to local hospitals. No serious injuries reported among the students, and no word yet tonight what caused that crash. Story we're following tonight, we have our eye on the storm. We have some strong wind and some heavy rain hitting parts of the area.
There is some good news, and that is that it should be over before the Patriots game.
The FBI and the Justice Department are investigating this video of a violent arrest of a student inside a South Carolina high school. Paula Eben is following the latest developments now in our satellite center. Paula?
Well, tonight, hundreds of people in Boston heard from one of the greats of CBS News.
I had the pleasure of hosting the JFK Library Forum with Bob Schieffer. Tonight, we talked about everything from covering Vietnam to anchoring the CBS Evening News to covering presidential campaigns. Now, he retired from CBS and faced the nation 5 months ago. Do you miss it?
Well, I guess if I'd known Donald Trump was going to run. I mean, who knew? I always said, Lisa, that every presidential campaign is different. And I think this one is probably the most different.
All kidding aside, Schieffer says the political system in Washington is essentially broken. It's ground to a halt. One thing that does give him optimism for the future, though, are the students he talks to at the Shorenstein Center at Harvard. That's where he's a fellow.
He seems like such a kind man.
And we have breaking news tonight at 11. Police on alert in France, in Boston, and all over the world after a series of attacks in Paris. 118 people were killed in one location, a packed concert hall where an American band was set to perform. Gunmen started firing, then took hostages there before police stormed that venue. Another terrorist apparently set off a suicide bomb right outside France's National Stadium, stopping the soccer players inside in their tracks. More than 80,000 people, including the French president, were watching that game as the French took on Germany. Jim Armstrong, live with breaking details in our satellite center. Jim.
Lisa.
And this was the deadliest attack in France since World War II. WBZ security expert Ed Davis tells me it is very troubling that these terrorists were able to get so close to the French president, and that tonight every resource is committed to finding the masterminds behind this attack.
This is a full court press.
Davis has only praise for French security forces, which he says have been infiltrating terrorist cells for years. He believes they will get to the bottom of this attack. And although no one has claimed responsibility, Davis suspects ISIS terrorists planned this for months. He says there is no question the terrorists planned it carefully, targeting 5 of Paris's busiest streets for nightlife. The driver came down that hill on Chestnut Street last night, barreling through the intersection and right into the popular Sweet Tomatoes restaurant at dinner time. We have team coverage of this big story tonight, beginning with Christina Hager in Newton, with more now on the investigation and the driver.
Questions being raised tonight as well about a safety feature that's designed to prevent these types of crashes.
They are called bollards, and you can see these cement structures lining the sidewalk right along Washington Street, stopping at the point where the SUV crashed into the restaurant. Why? Well, the I-Team's Ryan Paff has been digging for answers. Now at 5, fire kills 4 members of a New Hampshire family and devastates their community. Tonight, people remember a couple and 2 children. This 4-alarm fire tore through an apartment building in Manchester. People living near that fire scene are also out of their homes tonight. They were forced to evacuate, and the Red Cross is helping them out. Louisa Moeller is also in Manchester tonight.
Live from the Esplanade, WBZ presents America's best 4th of July party, the Boston Pops Fireworks Spectacular.
The orchestra is tuned and ready on this gorgeous night in Boston, where we have come together on the banks of the Charles River to celebrate America's birthday. We celebrate independence by coming together in the great city of Boston, loving our traditions and eager to embrace what the Pops bring us tonight. And now, please welcome the Boston Pops Esplanade Orchestra under the direction of the maestro celebrating his 20th anniversary, Keith Lockhart, performing the Star Spangled Banner with soloist Michelle Brooks Thompson. You are as beloved as our next selection. For more than 40 years, this rousing number has thrilled audiences here on the Esplanade as a part of the July 4th concert, and tonight is no exception. Here are the Boston Pops with the 1812 Overture.
The 2016 Boston Marathon starts right now on WBZ Channel 4.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Patriots Day. I am Lisa Hughes, live at the finish line here on Boylston Street, and we are so delighted to be welcoming you to the 120th running of the Boston Marathon and our live coverage. We are your official race station, which means we are the only local station bringing you wire-to-wire coverage of this great race and all of the history that will be made today. And what a day it is. And right now, in this live picture there on your left, you are looking at marathon bombing survivor Adrienne Hazlitt. This is her first Boston Marathon. She lost a leg in the marathon bombing in 2013, and she received this year's BAA Patriots Award, given to someone or an organization who promotes goodwill and sportsmanship. And she is a role model. You see her waving there to the crowds, which will only get bigger on this day. And the women are off in almost perfect conditions, minus that headwind Tony mentioned just a moment ago coming in from our Spotters Network. And they're off. John Hancock's elite men's field, beginning the 26.2-mile race into Boston on this historic course. Your 2016 Boston Marathon winner, Atsede Baisa, wins the Boston Marathon.
2:29:18 unofficially.
With arms outstretched, hand over heart, Ethiopia's Lemmy Haile wins the 2016 Boston Marathon with a big smile, and he skips at the end of that victory.
A 100-year-old American hero just celebrated his birthday at America's oldest ballpark. World War II veteran Ben Sofka had front row seats at last night's game at Fenway, and at one point during the game, Fenway honored the Maynard man on the Jumbotron. Beyond that, when a foul ball went down the third base line, the ball girl knew just what to do. You saw it there. She handed Mr. Sofka the ball, giving him a great souvenir. And tonight we say, we salute you and thank you.